How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Avid Fishing. Back in the garage. I think I'm just gonna, make more videos like this where I film out on the lake, take some of the stuff that I say out on the lake and, put it into the video. But I think by me reviewing and editing the video, putting the good and the bad in there, and then really sitting in here and talking to you guys directly, giving you a good breakdown and the straight goods, I think it makes for a better video in terms of educational purposes and hopefully giving you guys, the honest truth of what was happening out there. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys want me to talk more on the lake, but I think coming to the garage and talking to you guys a little bit better. Anyways, let's get right into today's video. So today's video is 2 or 3 years ago I would have thought was a weird video to watch, because it's buzzbaits for smallmouth. And I know a lot of you guys are probably like, what? I was the same way too until about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. My uncle of mine told me throw a buzzbait for smallmouth. It's pretty crazy to see what's happening, and I read an article, watch videos, but until you actually get out there and try this, it's a weird concept. You're thinking buzzbait, you're thinking shallow water, 1 to 2 feet, maybe around lily pads, penciled reeds for some largemouth, maybe around some docks. But here we're throwing buzzbaits over 9 to 10 feet flats and having big smallmouth blow up on it. So pretty crazy. Stay tuned, watch the video, and hopefully you guys enjoy what you're seeing. Oh yeah, baby. Putting together a decent bag here today. Wow, look at that. That's why you throw a buzzbait for smallies, baby. That's why you throw a buzzbait for smallies. Okay, so as you guys can see, the buzzbait does work. It does put big smallmouth in the boat. So let's get right down to my rod, reel, and buzzbait breakdown, my setup that I like to use. So first things first, as you guys know, always and forever, there is a St. Croix rod in my hand. Now the unfortunate thing is that St. Croix no longer makes this series, which is the Rage series. And I don't know what it is about this rod. I don't know if it's the graphite or the carbon, but this whole series, every single rod, I just felt like it was made for topwater. My popper, my walking bait, my buzzbait, my frog rod are all the Rage series, and it just, I don't know, it has the perfect backbone, it has the perfect parabolic bend, just something about it that really lets me take my topwater fishing to a next level. Now this here is a 7.6 medium heavy with a moderate action tip. Now this doubles as my buzzbait and frog rod. The reason I went with a moderate instead of the extra fast was, when you start off by frog fishing or buzzbait fishing, when there's a lot of blow-ups and you get a lot of action like that, you may be a little antsy and don't give that fish a second to pull that bait under the water before he's setting the hook. With that moderate, you have a little bit more bend in the rod compared to a fast or an extra fast. So this allows you to, even though you are setting the hook right away, the bend in the rod is giving you that split millisecond or second that you need for that fish to take that lure down. So I kind of just stuck with it. I think it's better to have than to have an extra fast action tip, especially with if you're throwing a buzzbait. You don't need that stiff tip to work it. You just kind of throw it out and reel it back in, so that tip doesn't really matter. But I think it does matter when that fish blows up on that buzzbait and you're seeing a smallmouth come 2-3 feet out of the water and pulling this thing back down. So that's just my opinion, but do with it what you must. It's a 7.6, of course, because you really want to get long casts out with your buzzbait and or your frog. So the 7.6 allows for a little bit more whippiness, a longer line out. So you're really bombing this buzzbait to get the best action out of it. Remember I picked them all up from Bill? And they're those ones that I picked up from Bill. Fish on. Big smallie. Big smallie. Big smallie. Ready? Ready?
I'm ready, but
okay.
Wait, is he ready?
Okay, go.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a big old smallmouth, baby.
That's a 2.
Yep. That's a big old smallmouth coming out of the woodwork for that bad boy. Now, of course, always a Shimano reel. This is a Shimano SLX. This is an 8:2-to-1 gear ratio. In my opinion, especially if you're frog fishing, you want that fast gear ratio so that you can just crank these fish out of the slop. But for buzzbait fishing, I'm of the opinion that buzzbaits, if you're working a buzzbait slow, throw a walking bait, throw a prop bait. If you're gonna throw a buzzbait, burn that baby back to the boat. That's the type of way to fish a buzzbait. It's a reaction bite. It's like burning a spinnerbait back to the boat. If you're gonna slow roll a buzzbait just so that it makes a little blue 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 blue, you could throw a whopper plopper, you could throw a prop bait, something that's gonna float and stay in the strike zone longer than an actual buzzbait. The line is Suffix 832. I mean, guys, basically it's always going to be the same. This is 30 pound, and I'm tying straight to the buzzbait. Now the buzzbait itself is a lunker lure buzzbait. You know, I went on Tackle Warehouse, did a lot of research, read up on them, and you know, this here seemed to be a really good buzzbait, pretty good price point. But the thing that I like the most about it is that it's so squeaky. Like right out of the box, you don't have to bend anything, you don't have to tilt anything. It's just, listen to this. You hear it? You hear that? At that end there, it sounds like a squeaky gate, like a gate that's been rusted and you're just opening it. I think that sound there is what makes these smallmouth go crazy and explode on this buzzbait. So that's just something to keep in mind. Color wise, I keep it fairly simple. Black or white with some tinge, like not tinge but tinsel to it, and you know, I think they call it a mouse pattern, and that's the two that I switch from. On bright sunny days, you know, I switch it up. If it's really clear water, I might throw that white, and if it's really, you know, tea stained or a little bit murkier water, I do throw the black. I just think it's something for them to hone in on a little bit better. And that's my breakdown for my buzzbait setup. Our big fish all came on the buzzbait. We had 5 fish for 14 pounds just on the buzzbait, not including any of our other fish. So to me, that's pretty impressive, especially when they're all smallmouth. Anyways, guys, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys pick up a buzzbait and throw it around for smallmouth. And don't throw it in your traditional buzzbait areas. Go to a rock point, go to a rock shoal, go to a rock flat, go to a sand flat where you've caught smallmouth before, and throw a buzzbait. See what happens. That's what I did. Now it'll probably be something that I pick up every time I go out and cover some water to try to find some big active smallmouth. Anyways, guys, that's avid fishing for you. Stay tuned for some more content coming out, hopefully sooner than later. Cheers.